Okay, so today we're going to dive into something really interesting, a kind of modern puzzle, what I like to call the architecture of quiet power. We're going to unpack the psychology behind why some people seem totally immune to the pressure for online validation, and, more importantly, how you can be too.
So let's just jump right in with the big question that kicked this whole thing off. Have you ever noticed this? You see people who are genuinely successful, happy, and fulfilled, but they have almost zero digital footprint. They're not chasing likes, they're not building a personal brand, they're just living. How in the world do they do it?
And you know what? The answer isn't some big mystery or well-kept secret. It's actually rooted in some pretty powerful psychological principles. We're about to unpack the hidden engine that drives this kind of self-worth, and it all starts with what actually motivates you.
Okay, so the first big piece of this puzzle is something called intrinsic motivation. The best way to think about this is like your own internal power source. It's that feeling when you're painting just for the pure joy of it, not for who's going to see it. Or the coder who gets lost for hours just because they love the challenge of solving the problem. See how that works? This engine runs on your own passion and purpose, not on external fuel like likes or comments.
And then, working right alongside that internal drive, you've got this other key piece: self-concept clarity. Just think of this as your personal anchor. It's having this rock-solid sense of who you are, your values, your beliefs, what you're good at, that doesn't get tossed around by the crazy waves of online opinions. When you really know who you are, deep down, you don't need anyone else to validate it for you.
So, you got these two big ideas. How do they actually work together? Well, it all boils down to your internal compass, basically the operating system that guides how you feel and what you do.
And this right here just lays it all out perfectly. The big question is, where is your locus of control? Are you the driver with an internal locus, believing that you are in charge of your own happiness, or are you the passenger with an external locus, believing that your mood and your self-worth depend on outside stuff, like what other people say, what they do, or what they like? Genuinely, this one distinction changes everything.
All right, so what's the big payoff? What do you get for being the driver of your own life? Well, you basically develop a psychological superpower, and that is resilience. And here's what that actually looks like in real life. First, you get this deep emotional resilience. You just bounce back from setbacks way faster. You also build up an immunity to the spotlight effect. You know that nagging feeling that everyone is constantly watching and judging you? Yeah, that starts to fade away. All of this leads to a genuine self-assurance, which is so different from just faking confidence. And when you put it all together, that's when you start to develop what we're calling quiet power.
Okay, let's tie this all together, because this next part is absolutely crucial. You have to understand that this isn't some personality trait you're either born with or you're not. It is a conscious choice you can make every single day, the choice to prioritize meaning over metrics.
Seriously, let this idea really sink in for a second, because it goes against so much of what we see online. When you are truly secure in who you are, when you have that self-concept clarity and that intrinsic motivation, you just don't feel the need to perform for an audience anymore. The lack of chasing, that is the real signal of confidence.
And this is the heart of what we've been talking about. It's not about being the loudest person in the room. It's about being solid. It's that calm, steady confidence that comes from validating yourself, not from waiting for external applause. That is quiet power.
So, if you only take one thing away from our chat today, please let it be this. It's such a powerful mantra for navigating the modern world with your integrity intact. Choose depth over display and meaning over metrics.
And that leaves us with one final personal question for you. I want you to really think about this. It doesn't have to be some huge life-altering thing. Just think, what is one small external metric, whether it's likes or view counts, or even just someone else's unsolicited opinion, that you can consciously choose to ignore this week, all in favor of listening to your own internal compass? Because that's it. That's where the practice of quiet power really begins.